Welcome back to JC Diaz Uncensored. Welcome to another video. This is JC Diaz. We have a show prepared for you guys today, and the name of this video today is The Collapse of the European Union. The European Union will collapse within the next 20 years, and the US will no longer be part of NATO, and that will change everything as we know it. There's going to be a new world order, and we'll still be part of the new world order, but there is a new world order incoming. And I will be back after a few minutes. So let's go ahead and get the show started, and I'll be right back. And we are back with you guys. Welcome back. I have a video I want you guys to watch, right? And it talks about the new world order. I want you guys to pay close attention to this video. And then after we play this video, I will be back with you and I will explain and about my ideas and my opinion of what the new world order is. So let's go ahead and play the video, and I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes. So go ahead, play the video.
Way back in the 1990s, the idea is for this Third World War to involve Russia and China against the West.
Yeah. Oceania versus Eurasia, yeah.
Yeah, the 1984 kind of scenario. And what you have now is the demonization of Russia. Have you noticed that? How suddenly we got the demonization of Russia? And what's opening up in the Ukraine, while all this is starting to go on in the Middle East, is another front against Russia. Because, you know, it's very easy to see how Russia can be pulled into this Middle Eastern conflict by supporting Syria, because destroying Syria is part of ISIS's agenda and American agenda and NATO's agenda.
And also Iran as well.
Yeah, and destroying Iran, yeah. So, and Russia would come out in support of Iran, and the same would happen with China. And so you can see how it's how the pieces in the game are being moved around to create the scenario that Pike talked about. And the idea is to basically bring everything to its knees, so that the world would have to be rebuilt in its structure and the way it operates, and that would be in the image of what they've been working towards all along: world government, world central bank, world army, world currency, centralized control of the planet, and it's very easy to see with current events how it's moving in that direction, and we need to understand what the goals are, to understand what the moves towards that goal are. And when you look at it from this perspective, what is happening in the Middle East is not random. None of it's been random. Libya's not been random. Syria's not been random. None of it. And ISIS certainly isn't random. It's part of this long-term plan to take over the world by creating enormous chaos, to which they can offer the order out of the chaos, their order, their new world order.
And we are back with you guys. This is JC Diaz. Now, after watching this video, I want you guys to think about something, right? Right now, as of right now, we have 4 superpowers in the world. As of right now, we have the European Union, we have the United States, we have Russia, and we have China. Now, with the United States you know, just because of geographical location, United States is not in Europe. But there is what we call NATO, right? NATO is an institution that was created by there's several nations that are part of this institution. Is mostly Europeans, and the United States, as of right now, is still is part of NATO. Now, I want you guys to hear me out. And listen to what I think is about to happen within the next 10 to 20 years, right? With the mass migration of Muslims and other minorities into Europe, a lot of the cities in Europe have been overtaken because they had an open border policy. And a lot of experts, a lot of my sources that I've been looking at, they are saying that because an out of control immigration or migration policy into Europe, the European Union will not be a power within the next 20 years. That's what the experts are saying. That's what some of my sources that I looked into, they're saying. They are saying the European Union will no longer be a power, which means that the United States will eventually pull out of being part of NATO. So without the support of the United States, because you guys do know that the United States is the biggest supporter for NATO, and without the backup or the support of the United States, Europe would pretty much become, not completely third world, but it won't be one of the superpowers. And I believe the plan is for three superpowers to come alive within the next 20 years. It could be before, it could be a little bit after. And those superpowers will be the United States in the West, in the East, China, and in Europe, it will be Russia, right? And Russia, the US, and China will be the three superpowers that will rule the world for the next, I don't know, let's say 100 years. If you guys think about this, the president right now, President Trump, aligns himself more with Putin than he does with anybody in Europe. And honestly, he hasn't been getting along with a lot of the people in Europe, the high diplomats and the presidents and the kings and all that. He has actually been getting along better with Putin. And we still have a rival in China, but we are not super friends with China, but we are competitive. We respect each other, because the truth is China is one of the biggest superpowers right now. Like, we pretty much almost everything we consume comes from China. And so we still have respect for them as a rival, but I do believe that the European Union will eventually collapse. And I'm sorry that, it sounds so harsh. I know a lot of people are not going to like what's going on, what I'm saying, but this is what a lot of experts are saying. A lot of experts are saying that the three new superpowers will eventually be the USA, Russia, and China. And most of the world, that's going to be the new world order. It's going to be three superpowers, and India not too far behind. But the three superpowers will be the USA, Russia, and China. And by the USA pulling out of NATO eventually, that will definitely be a drawback or a step back for Europe, which Europe is already in trouble. A lot of countries in Europe are already in trouble because they uncontrolled migration or immigration into their country, and a lot of their countries are in trouble. A lot of the once prosperous countries are now finding themselves to be having a problem with their economies. Countries like Germany, countries like Spain are definitely in financial trouble, and there are way more countries to come from Europe that will eventually be collapsing. And I think what President Trump is doing is by he's being strategic, right? By not having, not wanting to have confrontation with Russia or China, instead of having a confrontation with these two superpowers, he's trying to align himself, align the US with those two superpowers. So eventually it will be the three countries will be the three superpowers of the world. Think about this. If the US controls the West, China controls all the East, and Russia controls all Europe. And with this, I'm not saying that we are going to be taking over countries and doing stuff like that. Nah. Everybody still will be independent. Everybody will be the way they are right now. But in influence all over the other countries, there will be three superpowers that which will influence the way of life, influence the way people live, everything. It will be the USA, China, and Russia. Those will be the next three superpowers. And it all has to do with how financials work. Once USA is out of NATO, Europe will no longer have the protection of the USA and won't have the financial backup of the US. And what will happen is the US will stop being the police of the world, and eventually the US will say, okay, we're gonna do America first. And I believe that's what President Trump is trying to do. Is he's trying to align himself with Russia and China, but everybody's gonna do, is gonna take care of their own people first. And by pulling out of NATO, now all this money that the US provides to NATO will stay in the country, and it will make our country greater. It will make our country stronger. It will make our country, our armed forces way better. Our infrastructure, bridges, cities, streets, everything will be better for the US. But there will be a collapse in Europe. Europe will pass to be, will no longer be one of the superpowers. A lot of their countries are collapsing. A lot of their countries, their economies are coming down. And compared to Russia, the US, and China, Europe is, the size of Europe. Europe is not a big continent. And a lot of their issues, look at France. France is having a crisis right now with their economic policies because of the overtaking of so many migrants that came in. And a lot of people are saying that these migrants have been flown in on purpose to overtake Europe. That's what people are saying. This is not what I'm saying. I'm just repeating what I've heard from people. They're saying that this has been done on purpose. The overpopulation of Europe is being done on purpose by those who want to see Europe fail. That's what a lot of experts are saying, and a lot of people, a lot of sources that I've looked into, that's what they are all saying. They're saying Europe is being invaded, passively invaded on purpose. Somebody's doing this. Now, who is doing it? We don't know. I really don't know. And if I knew, I will tell you guys. I promise you that. But I really don't know. So eventually we're going to see Europe not be a power anymore. We will see the collapse of Europe within the next 20 years. That's what everybody's saying. Some of the experts are saying, some of my sources have said, and we will have a new world order between China, Russia, and the USA. Now, will it stay the same? We don't know, because it could be that whoever is the next president after Trump is gone completely could change everything and say, no, we're going to undo everything Trump did and we're going to go back to NATO and it's going to stay the way it is. That could happen too. But because of the way things are right now in the country, if the Republicans, or should the Republicans stay in government and the next president will be also a Republican, I believe that will make it so that NATO, the US will pull out of NATO eventually and stop the backing of Europe and stop spending so much money in these countries. All this money we spend in these countries, all this money should be spent in the US. It should be spent here. We pay so much money in taxes, and most of that money goes to other countries. And what are they using this money that we're sending to? We don't know. We don't know. But the only thing I know is there is gonna be three superpowers, and the European Union will collapse within 20 years. And the three superpowers will be Russia, China, and the US. Now, the only thing that is I don't like too much is this association we have with Israel, because we are partners with Israel. We provide security for Israel. We provide everything for Israel. And what do we get out of this? That's my question. What are we getting out of this agreement we have with Israel? What do we get out of it? Because when you say America first, it's supposed to be America first, not America, Israel, and then the American people. So my question will be for those experts, because I really am not an expert. For those experts, what is the U.S. getting out of our relationship with Israel? If you guys know, any of you, please comment. On the comments below, please comment. Let me know, and in another video we can talk about it. But let me know, what are we getting out of our agreement or our partnership with Israel? What is in it for us as a country? And how will that be affected once we have a three country or three superpowers world order, which is the way I believe this is the direction we are going into. If you guys have seen, France is in a lot of trouble. They're in a lot of trouble because they've made so many mistakes. Same thing with Spain. The UK is being overtaken. And everybody's saying, or the experts are saying, that this is being done on purpose. They're overpopulating Europe. So that there is a collapse of their economies. That's what a lot of rumors, that's what a lot of people are saying. And I wanted to make this video because I felt the necessity to bring this to your attention and see what you guys have to say about this. But as far as some experts are saying, it's going to be a new world order coming soon, and Europe will no longer be the powerful Europe that we've known for a long time. Within the next 20 years. Within the next 20 years, Europe will not be the superpower that we've all known for a long time. And I think that's when the US completely will pull out of NATO. We will save all that money that we give NATO. All the money we give to all these different countries, all that money will come back to us to make our economy stronger. Because remember, once we have a three powerful countries world order, China, Russia, and the US, each one of these three countries are going to try and make their own economy stronger to be able to compete with each other. You know, I don't think it's gonna be any longer four state or four superpowers. It's gonna be three. But I think that in the long run, this will be a success for the US because we will no longer be sending out money, giving out all our hard earned tax dollars to other countries, being the police of the world, getting involved in conflicts with other countries. I believe that will be a success for the US. I actually believe it. I believe it will be a success for the US once this happens. Once we pull out of NATO and once we no longer have to be the police of the world. Think about it. We're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars in taxpayer money that goes to different countries that we have no idea what it is for. And yet here we are giving these people all this money that could be invested in our own people. You know, the American taxpayer is being bled. Like literally our pockets are bleeding. The money that we pay, all these taxes that we pay that will be coming back to our pockets so we can take care of our families, everything is going out to different countries. And meanwhile, you know, everything is more expensive right now. Groceries are more expensive. Premium health insurance is more expensive. But our salaries are not going up. Our salaries are not going up. So if we don't do something about it real soon, this could be a cause for a revolution or a civil war. If the government doesn't fix what's going on, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican coming after Trump, there will be a revolution or a civil war in this country. Because people are going to get tired of working for nothing. Think about this. Every day you pass by someone's house, you know, you are from a really poor part of town, and every day you pass by someone's mansion and you're hungry and you look out the window and you see them eating this big table with all kinds of food. And you knock on the door and they tell you, no, you don't belong here. And every day you pass by and you knock on the door and they tell you, no, you don't belong here. Do you think you're going to continue to knock on the door the next time? No, the next time you're going to break in the house and you're going to take whatever it's in there. And I believe that's what's going to happen if we don't fix the financial situation in the United States. And in order to compete with the two superpowers, which are Russia and China, we first have to fix our own financial situation. Once we fix our own financial situation, then we'll be able to compete with Russia and China. And I believe we have to take care of our people first so that we don't get to a point where there is actual violence on the streets. I think our government needs to, get their stuff together, get a plan, and say, how are we going to bring all this down? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to, how much can you afford? Can I afford groceries? Can I afford to support my family? Can I afford gas? Can I afford the health insurance? That's what it comes down to. And if you work and work and work and your salary is not enough to support your family, well, now comes the stress, now comes the divorce, now comes people going crazy, now comes the looting, and that eventually will end up in a civil war when people get tired, especially in a country that has almost 400 million people. Imagine that. But there is a new world order coming soon. And within the next 20 years, the European Union will no longer be the powerful European Union. It could be before, it could be a little after. And I believe the US will eventually pull out of NATO. And all that money that we give NATO and that we send out to those countries will come back to the US. and our economy will get much better and much stronger. I hope you guys have a great day. This was the video for today. My name is JC Diaz. Everybody have a great new year. I hope everybody has the best year of their life this coming year. And I'll see you guys next year with another video. Thank you guys. Peace.